Everyone thought she was just another quiet passenger, until the ocean went silent for her. The storm didn't stop because the crew fought it. It stopped the second she touched the helm. And when every system on the ship suddenly unlocked itself, it wasn't responding to the captain. It wasn't responding to the Navy. It was responding to her. Because the thing rising beneath the waves wasn't coming for the crew. It was coming to reclaim the woman they thought was a nobody, the same woman its creators coded as the only navigator alive who could face it. No one paid attention to her when she boarded the training destroyer USS Ardenfall. She looked like a quiet civilian, hair tied back, a faded jacket, hands in her pockets, as if she was simply traveling along for the ride. The cadets whispered she was maybe a researcher or a guest observer, nothing more. But something about her didn't match her silence. The way she scanned the deck, the way her eyes tracked the horizon, as if she could read the water better than the radar. The way she stood too still, like someone who had spent years learning not to make noise. Her name on the manifest was Alara Quinn. No rank, no affiliation, just civilian passenger under temporary clearance. The officers didn't have time to care. The destroyer was in the middle of its annual qualification run, and a storm system was building faster than forecasted. A storm even the senior navigators didn't want to challenge. But one cadet noticed her watching the sea. Sailor Brooks Hale, 19 years old, overly confident, trying too hard to impress the bridge crew. He approached her, while the sky darkened with the first signs of the electrical front. "You've been staring at the waves for an hour," Brooks said, folding his arms. "You think you can read the ocean better than our instruments?" She didn't answer. She didn't even blink. Brooks smirked. "That's what I thought. Civilians panic in storms. You'll see. The Ardenfall can handle anything." Alara finally turned her head, her voice calm and disturbingly certain. "You're steering 3 degrees too far east." Brooks laughed. "Ma'am, our navigation computers are the best in the—" "That's why you're about to hit the edge of the downdraft," she said. "And when it hits, your ship will drop hard enough to shut down half your sensors." Brooks rolled his eyes and walked off, muttering under his breath about weather-obsessed tourists. The storm grew higher, thicker, stranger. Radar glitches appeared. The air felt heavier than normal, like static crawling across the deck. On the bridge, the captain demanded updates. No one had anything useful. Then the hit came. A violent shudder tore through the hull. The Ardenfall dropped, not a lot, but enough to make every officer snap around in alarm. Several systems flickered. The navigation console went dark for exactly 3 seconds before rebooting in emergency mode. The storm hadn't reached them yet. That was just its breath. Brooks stood frozen. She had predicted it. Exactly. When Alara walked onto the bridge without being invited, no one stopped her. Maybe they were too stunned. Maybe something in her expression made it feel like she belonged there. She pointed toward the map table. "You're still steering east." The junior navigator frowned. "Ma'am, this is a secured area. Adjust to 274, she said. "If you don't, you'll lose propulsion in 9 minutes." The captain stepped forward, annoyed. "And you are? A meteorologist? A researcher?" Alara looked him dead in the eye. "No. Nothing more." The captain ordered Brooks to escort her out, but before he could take a step, a sound cut through every alarm, every voice, every piece of machinery. The ocean went quiet. Completely. The sonar screens, which had been screaming with interference, suddenly showed nothing. Not an echo. Not a current. Not a ripple. The sonar tech went pale. "Sir, I've never seen readings drop like this. It's like the ocean is listening," Alara finished. How did she know that? The captain stared at her. "What are you?" She didn't answer. She stared at the water, her eyes narrowing as the storm clouds spiraled unnaturally, like something beneath the surface was pulling the sky down toward it. Brooks took a small step back. "Captain, she knew everything before it happened." The lights flickered again. The deck vibrated. A deep, distant rumble rose from under the waves, too controlled, too rhythmic to be thunder. The sonar tech shouted, "Contact surfacing! Massive, metallic, and rising fast!" The crew panicked, rushing to their stations. But Alara didn't move. Her face didn't change. "It's coming for me," she said softly. The captain whipped toward her. "What is?" Her voice was calm, too calm. "The thing you've been calling a storm." The ship lurched a second time. A shadow emerged beneath the water, shaped like a machine, but nothing human crews had ever built. The ocean wasn't reacting to the storm. The storm was reacting to it. And it was rising. Before the captain could order battle stations, the emergency channel activated on its own. The ship's PA system crackled, forcing every officer to freeze. A synthetic voice echoed through the destroyer. "Identity confirmed. Alara Quinn, requesting retrieval." The crew stared at her in horror. Brooks whispered, voice shaking, "Who the hell are you?" Alara slowly exhaled. "I didn't want them to find me." The metallic shape rose higher beneath the waves. "And now it's too late." The storm did not calm. It only shifted, like something beneath the waves had decided to breathe. The young sailor, Liam Hart, stood frozen at the helm, rain hitting his face so hard it stung. He'd challenged her, challenged the quiet woman the crew barely noticed, to navigate through a storm most seasoned captains avoided. He thought she'd hesitate. He thought she'd crack. Instead, Eleanor Ward stepped forward the way someone moves towards something familiar, not feared. The ocean recognized her before the crew did. Lightning slashed across the sky, illuminating the swirling black column ahead. The waves rose like living walls, towering high enough to swallow their patrol cutter whole. Alarms blared through the bridge. Radar flickered. Every officer shouted at once. Except her. Elena's hands moved calmly across the soaked chart table, fingers tracing invisible paths through chaos. She didn't flinch when the ship lurched. She didn't react when a wave slammed against the port side so violently the lights sputtered, and Liam, who had laughed at her earlier, couldn't look away. The captain shoved past him. "Ma'am, step back. This is a level 5 cyclone. Navigation is impossible." Eleanor looked up, her expression unreadable. "Not impossible, just misunderstood." Before the captain could answer, the ocean below them trembled. Not from wind, not from thunder, from something deeper, heavier, like the pulse of a submerged engine. The sonar officer gasped. "Sir, we're detecting movement under the storm." Liam blinked. Movement? At this depth? The screen flickered, showing a massive shadow spiraling beneath the ship, too controlled to be natural, too large to be machinery they recognized. The captain whispered, "What in God's name is that?" Eleanor closed her eyes as if she already knew. Something that shouldn't be awake. The storm screamed around them, bending the mast, shaking bolts loose from the ceiling. The crew braced themselves as the cutter tilted dangerously. Liam grabbed a railing, shouting over the wind, "Tell us what's happening. You said you could navigate this." Eleanor stepped toward the helm. Toward him. "I can, but you challenged the storm, believing it was just a storm." Her eyes met his. "It isn't." The ship jerked violently. Half the crew fell. A monstrous wave reared up like a silent titan preparing to crush them. Elena took the wheel. Not with panic, with certainty. "Hold your breath," she whispered. The ship plunged downward as the wave collapsed over them. Water slammed through the bridge windows like fists. The world went white. Then, silence. Not the calm kind. Not the peaceful kind. A silence so unnatural, Liam felt it in his bones. The storm had stopped, instantly. No thunder, no rain, no wind. The clouds pulled apart above the vessel, opening into a perfect circle of clear sky directly above them like an eye staring down. The crew stared around in disbelief. What did you do?" Liam breathed. Elena didn't answer, because something else did. The radio crackled to life. A voice, cold, metallic, old, spoke her full name like a verdict. Primary operative, Eleanor Ward. Status, reactivated. Every screen on the bridge flickered. Systems they didn't even know the cutter had suddenly unlocked themselves. Hatches sealed, engines rerouted, command access shifted, to her. Liam stumbled back. "Why is the ship responding to you?" The captain stepped forward slowly, dread seeping into his eyes. "Elena, what were you before you became a civilian?" The sea beneath them rippled. Slow, deliberate, like something rising. Elena exhaled, steadying herself on the helm. "The storm wasn't natural," she said softly. "It was a signal, a trigger." Liam's voice shook. "A trigger for what?" A deep rumble rose from the water. Then, a black, circular structure surfaced behind them, shedding the ocean like it had been asleep for years. No markings, no lights. Just a single burned insignia scratched into its hull. Elena looked at it with a mixture of dread and acceptance. "For them," she whispered. The captain swallowed. "Elena, who are they?" Her eyes stayed on the rising shape. "They're the ones who created me," she said, "and they've finally come back." Metal groaned as the structure opened, unfolding like a mechanical flower revealing a dark interior. Liam whispered, "What do they want?" Elena stepped forward, rain dripping down her face, her voice lower than a breath. "They want their navigator." The structure pulsed once, calling her, calling only her, and Elena Ward, the quiet woman who should have vanished in the background, walked toward the edge of the deck, ready to face what the ocean had brought back for her. The crew didn't move, because the ocean wasn't silent for them. It was silent for her.